Hello everyone, I'm Sadia Malik. Welcome to Unit 3 from First Year English book prescribed by KPK Textbook Board for the year 2020-2021. This is a continuation of the previous lectures which were based on the poem Good Timber by Douglas Malloch. In this lecture, we are going to answer the comprehension questions given at the end of the unit, and I'll also tell you how to paraphrase the poem or stanzas in simpler language. So as far as comprehension question is concerned, the first question is, what is the significance of the title Good Timber? So whatever the title of the poem, it is of great importance and it denotes to the central theme of the poem. In this poem, the title is a symbol for good men. The poem compares good timber with good strong people who keep growing despite all the negative forces working against them. They reach their true potential, and it is only through struggle that men grow and discover their true worth. So the whole main theme of the poem has been signified in the title as well. So you realize that whatever makes the timber good is the same quality that makes men good also. And it is the hard work, it is facing challenges in life, it is working against the forces, it is facing the life head on that makes you strong. You might want to have an easy life, but that does not make you a strong person. Question number 2 is, what is good timber? How does a tree grow into good timber? I told you in the first lecture that timber is actually the wood that is used in different things in human society. For example, timber is used in buildings. It is used for making doors and windows. It is also used to make furniture. So if the quality of the timber is not good, obviously the product that comes out of it is going to be of low quality. So people, when they are looking for timber, they look for the best trees to cut down and to make things from them, because if they use the low quality timber, obviously the product that comes out of it is of no value or very less value, and it becomes bad very quickly. It loses its significance, it loses its worth. So good timber basically is a symbol of good people. Like good timber, this world needs good people. But the problem is that good people are not easy to come by. Good timber refers to strong wood. A tree growing in a thick forest has to fight for its place, sunlight and rainwater. It has to face strong winds, live through storms, and face all extreme weather conditions of hail, rain, snow, and heat. Only by overcoming all these difficulties, a tree can become a good timber. So looking at the poem from a forest perspective, what is the significance of good timber? That obviously it is the strong wood. It is a wood which has some value, and the lumbermen, they are actually looking for these kind of trees to make things with it. What, according to Douglas Malloch, is the fate of those people who do not work hard in life? So in the first stanza, he talks about people who have an easy life, who have a lazy life. And according to the poet, the fate of the people who do not work hard in life is that they do not achieve greatness. They don't attain their goals and do not reach their full potential in life. They remain mediocre, ordinary, and commonplace. They lack leadership qualities. They never attain excellence or contentment. They lack purpose and are easily forgotten. So they are like, a million, billion people out there who are not reaching their full potential. There are only very few who face the odds, who face the challenges, and then the world remembers them forever for their strength and for their integrity. So, and it does not come easy. It has to come through a lot of problem facing. It has to come to you after a turbulent phase in your life. So this kind of life is not easy. That is why you would hardly find people who can be called strong people and who have the leadership qualities in you. How can a person achieve his or her true potential in life? Illustrate with examples from the poem. This is the lesson that we should be learning from this poem, that how can we achieve our true potential? How can we become good timber? A person can achieve his or her true potential by facing challenges of life bravely. A laid back and comfortable life makes a person complacent and ease loving. It is only through struggle and hard work that a person achieves greatness and can become a fruitful, productive, and successful person. So there is no easy ticket out of it. You need to toil, you need to work hard, you need to face the challenges, and you need to be brave about it. You can't have a lazy life and yet a successful life at the same time. So you need to work hard for whatever you want. What is the main idea? We have already discussed it. The main idea is the theme of struggle, fulfillment, and nature. The message of this poem is that people, like trees, grow and reach their true potential by overcoming adversity. It is only through struggles like broken branches and storms that will make you into good timber. What is the rhyme scheme? Yesterday's lecture was about it. You can look at the video again. Rhyme scheme is AABBCC. So it is written in rhymed couplets, and each stanza it has 3 couplets, meaning that it is comprising of 6 lines. What is an extended metaphor used in the poem? First of all, you need to explain what is an extended metaphor. Extended metaphor refers to a comparison between two unlike things that continue throughout a paragraph or a poem. It often comprises a few lines and sometimes consists of an entire poem. The whole poem, Good Timber, uses the extended metaphor of trees being continuously compared with human beings. And adding to that, good trees being compared to good, strong men, and bad timber being compared to lazy people, complacent people. The last question, what is an alliteration? Give its example. Again, I already discussed it in the video in which we dealt with the literary devices used in the poem. So it is the repetition of usually initial consonant sounds in 2 or more neighboring words or syllables. Some examples for the poems are sun and sky, manly man, broken branches, strong trees. So if you want some detail, you can watch the video again in which I dealt with the literary devices used in the poem. Now we move to paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a very important skill to have, and a lot of people think that maybe it is the poems that have to be paraphrased and there's nothing else that can be paraphrased, but paraphrasing can be done to any piece of writing. You can paraphrase a paragraph, you can paraphrase 2 or 3 sentences into your own words, you can paraphrase a stanza, you can paraphrase a whole poem. So paraphrase actually means writing something in your own words, trying to give the gist of the meaning. But a lot of people actually confuse it with summary writing also. So they cannot differentiate how a summary is different from a paraphrase. When you paraphrase a poem, use your own words to explain the major idea line by line. Paraphrasing isn't the same as explicating or analyzing a poem. So remember, so you're not trying to explain it. You are trying to just change the words into simpler words. So you must be looking for synonyms. You should be looking for words which actually mean the same, or you rephrase the ideas in your own words. The goal is to rephrase the ideas in your own words without evaluating or addressing the author's hidden messages or underlying themes. So you cannot say in a paraphrase that I think the poet is trying to say this, the poet wants to say this, the poet is highlighting a certain fact. That kind of addressing should not be there. You should just be rephrasing the ideas of the poem in your own words, simpler words, and that is what paraphrase is about. Now in this little column, 2 columns, you can see how this summary is different from a paraphrase. Now summary is a brief statement or account of the main points of the text. So you just take out the topic sentences and you just write it in 1 or 2 sentences. The shorter, the better. Paraphrase, on the other hand, is the rewording of a text to clarify the content. So what you basically do is you rephrase. You look for words which are simpler in meaning, simpler to understand, and you just write it in your own words. Summary is shorter than a paraphrase. Summary, as the word suggests, it has to be short. It should summarize the whole idea in least possible a number of words. Whereas paraphrase is longer than a summary because you're not trying to put words into less number of words, but you are trying to somehow explain it in your own words. Summary can be selective, meaning you can choose to take out things if you don't like them. Paraphrase has to be specific, so you can't leave out any idea or any line out. Every line has to be paraphrased, changing the word order or making or choosing simpler words, but you need to be specific. You need to be covering all the bases. Summary condenses the text, makes it shorter, briefer, whereas paraphrase clarifies the text. So both have different aims in mind. When you are writing a summary, your aim is to condense the ideas in less number of words. While when you are paraphrasing, you're actually trying to clarify the text by using easier words, your own words, and rephrasing them. How to paraphrase poetry? So these are the 4 points. Use your own words to explain. the major idea is line by line. So you have to go line by line. But if you come across lines which are run on, which means that they are going from one line to second or third line, you can join them into one sentence. Paraphrase isn't the same as explaining or analyzing the poem. So please don't over explain. Don't try to tell what the poet is trying to say. The goal is to rephrase the ideas in your own words without changing what the poet is implying to say. So you can't actually add anything from yourself, just the words, and use their synonyms. So the best approach would be look for words which have the same meaning but maybe simpler in nature. A paraphrase line is in simple prose and not in rhyme, and you need to make sure that it is in prose, not in rhyme again. So you need to write it in how prose is written, like how sentences are written, rather than to write them in rhyme. Just to give you a few examples here, you can see that I have taken one example from the prose and two examples from two examples from prose and one from poem. Look at the passage. Ancient Egyptians believed that Osiris, a god and wise king, was the first pharaoh. He spread knowledge to other parts of the world while his wife Isis ruled Egypt in his place. So this is the text that you have, but when you are going to make it shorter, you paraphrase it, and then you look for the words that need to be rephrased, and then you write it down. King Osiris was the first pharaoh and spread knowledge. Queen Isis ruled Egypt when he was gone. So you're just trying to, write it in your own words without skipping any detail. Okay. Now, if you look at this text, Willy Wonka was famous for his delicious candy. Children and adults love to eat it. So what you did in the paraphrase is you looked for the words and you went for their synonyms, or words which mean the same but in simpler language. Willy Wonka was known throughout the world. So famous can be changed into known throughout the world, because people, children and adults, can be changed into people, loved to eat, enjoyed eating the tasty candy he made. So delicious candy has been changed into tasty candy, and love to eat has been changed into enjoyed eating the tasty candy. But if you look at the whole content, the content is the same. So nothing has been left out, but it has been changed into simpler language. Coming here again, this is the line from a poetry. Blue were her eyes as the fair flecks, her cheeks like the dawn of the day. So details are that her eyes were blue and her cheeks were red, but when you are going to paraphrase it, you are going to turn them into simpler words. She had blue eyes and red cheeks. So you need to make sure that it is not in rhyme. It is written in prose, meaning it is written in sentences, as sentences should be written, so there is no rhyme scheme. And you get to the gist of what the poet is trying to say by using synonyms, or by using words which have the same meaning. Blue were her eyes as the fairy flax, her cheeks like the dawn of the day. So we all know that when the sun is coming up in the morning, the color of the sky is red or rosy. So you can even write here that she has blue eyes and rosy cheeks. So even that would have the same kind of meaning. So now taking one example from your own poem. This is part of your exercise also. It is said that kindly paraphrase this last stanza. Where thickest lies the forest growth, we find the patriarchs of both, and they hold counsel with the stars, whose broken branches show the scars of many winds and much of strife. This is the common law of life. So we can paraphrase like this. As you can see that it is a little longer than your actual stanza, and it is all right, because we are not trying to make summary. We are trying to rephrase the words so people can easily understand them. So you can say, we find the leaders of both, this stands for patriarch, we find the leaders of both strong trees and men in the part of forest where the growth is the most dense. Thickest forest, part of forest where the growth is most dense. And then for the next line, they hold counsel with the stars, whose broken branches show the scars of many wind and much of strife. This can be written like this. They gain inner peace and greater knowledge in spite of their shattered branches and wounds, which are the signs of the many problems and difficulties that they had faced. This is the common law of life. This is the well-known rule of life. So this is how you paraphrase. You try to take out the words which are a little difficult to understand, and you look for their synonyms, or you look for words and phrases which mean the same, and then you change it like this. Please do not go for a word by word rewording. So don't try to find synonyms of each and every word, because that is going to look very artificial. but just go for rephrasing by rewording, and that would be fine. Don't think about